All right, let's do it. First, smash in gold and silver. Not related to the markets, not the banking stocks or the dollar or yields or some general commodity related. It was just pure gold and silver. Today's the day we get smashed, and smashed we did, especially the miners, I would say, especially silver, I would say. It was a big hit. Like for me, I remember I'm doing this Sunday. It was about minus eight, 8.5% average stock decked. And you had good ones down with the bad ones, which is actually a nice little arbitrage if you're thinking about it. I had Fortuna down the same as Pan American Silver. So just swap one for the other. And actually, Fortuna, I was going to sell the whole position or half of it the day before. And instead, I just did a heavy trim, which is almost meaningless when you're looking at a day like the day we had on Friday. So gold, bull, by the way, gold bull thesis completely intact. This is healthy. This was something I've thought was going to happen for several trading days. And I guess Friday was the day. Didn't close at low of day. Um, I actually, I'll go straight to my plan before I even get to any of the details. My plan is, and I'd sold a little bit that week, a little bit, and overall, if I combine it, it's still just a little bit, not enough. My plan on Monday is if we start to move back up pre-market, at any point during the day, maybe pre-market, there's not much, or maybe it's red, and then we go green and we're starting to move up. If we start to move up decent, I'm gonna take the type of trim I haven't done yet. I'm gonna do like, I don't even know the numbers yet. I'm doing a video before I'm even looking at my Excel where I've got everything documented, but something like 10% across the board, something like that. And if I combine that 10%, if I'm able to achieve it, and I think I will, because as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm gonna go place all of them good till cancel, pre-market allowed, outside of regular trading hours. So if it happens pre-market or during regular hours, it is what it is. It happens, and I leave it. And my best trades are usually the ones I set on Sunday, whether it's a buy or a sell. It's sober, it's not emotional. Even during the regular market hours, I'm okay because I've got it all documented on Excel. I actually trade based on my strategic overview in Excel. Actually, it's quite funny. Then I zoom in and try and get the best price according to the 1 minute chart. But yeah, my plan is Monday, if possible, do a decent trim across the board. So Pan America, Newmont, Barrick, CDE, Heckler, I Am Gold, Equinox, all those stocks, I'm going to go through them anyway. Just like 10%, maybe two times 5%, something like that. Maybe pre-market there's a move, and then during the regular hours we start to move up, and everyone thinks the low is in, and maybe the low is in. I don't know. But then I'll do my second trim, and then I'm like, all right, cool. Now if we keep going up, and that was just literally a 1 day shakeout, a bit like those days, like every sort of week we have a red day. Maybe that was the big scary red day, and we go higher. Then it's cool. I just did my 10% for this zone. I already said that I sold the $4,000 zone, the 50 silver zone, but now I'm gonna call it the 55 silver zone and the $4,350 zone, whatever it is. But I didn't get scared, but I realized when it went down, I was like, oh man, I got too much in this. It was a big hit. It was a big hit. It was twice as much down as a very good day. And in the end, and I should really talk about this when I got the GDX up, but at the end, I saw quite a few funny quotes on Twitter. It just said, and now we're back to where we were on Tuesday. And it's true. When I look at some of these stocks like CD, it's like, wait a minute, we're still above 20. I thought 20 was a sell level for me like 1.5 weeks ago. All right, so gold, it's not bearish at all. It's just a red candle next to a green one. Not, we went below, yes, Thursday's low of day, but didn't close there. We went above too, so it's literally a meaningless candle, if I can say that. It's just when you look at the volume and the volatility, and when you look at the miners, that's when it becomes a bit of a something. Silver, there we did close way beyond the low of the prior day, Thursday, but we didn't close at low of day. And again, I do think we could have a bit of recuperation there on Monday. Could get some 53, and when you're at 53, you're $1 away from the all-time high because we never got to 55. So 53 is just one off 54, and then so that's what I'm thinking. Like when we get near 53 and whatever the equivalent is in gold, that's when I'll probably start my first 5% trim across the board. If we go higher, another 5%, and then leave it. Leave it, I'm done. If we start to break out to new highs and silver goes to 60 by the end of next week or the week out, then I'm just like, okay, this is just scaring people. It scared me to the point where I just decided to trim 10%. But hey, I didn't trim 50, 100 or go short, did I? But still, and you know what, when it comes to support, I haven't even spoken about support, 50 support, right? I don't have to say that. 50 is resistance or 49 point whatever. When I say 50, I mean 49 point something. And we kind of proved that. We touched the 50s, 50.7 on Friday. We bounced from there. 50 is obviously support because it was resistance. This is a multi-decade resistance slash support. Gold, whatever the equivalent is, we've got this steep ascending. I don't think we're going to go that low in gold because silver's going to hit 50 by then, but 4,000 is a level, right? It's a big number. It's kind of a zone here. It's also this steep ascending, so 4,000 in gold. And to be honest, I'd probably buy before. It's probably 4,000 and like 51 or something. So there you go. Those are my general support resistance, gold, silver, and the way I'm going to look to trade it on Monday pre-market and during regular hours. The miners got, you know, I think proportionate to gold and silver, they were more damaged. But I look at the candle, like this closes before not just Thursday, but Wednesday's low of day. We didn't close a low of day though on Friday, but that's a pretty big drop. And actually from high to low, 10% is not that bad, not that bad. Yeah, like I said, you're there, you're basically where you were trading sort of Wednesday, Tuesday. So, and this breakout here in GDX 79.5, we basically revisited it. That's all. We just went up two and came down. It's healthy. And I was trimming during these days. I forgot whether I trimmed on Thursday or Wednesday or maybe both, but they were small. I shouldn't even mention it. They were psychological. And in the end, what I did is that money I just converted into Canadian dollars and just added to some juniors. I'll try and get to that, although I never cover my juniors. Now I've got like 15 juniors. I bought some juniors on Friday. I didn't buy any seniors. I just watched them. I tried to sell more Fortuna on the jump, on the bounce, but there was not enough of a bounce. So I just bought some destroyed juniors that I hadn't bought enough of. And it wasn't just gold and silver juniors, like uranium, critical metals. It was copper. So what we want all gold and silver. So yeah, GDX, little decked. Let's see if we go up. The resistance levels, we're not going to get there, but the first one's probably going to be the high of day on Friday. There's no way we're getting there. And the next one is the absolute all-time high. This GDX, I'm not going to do this for all of them. The bounce level, well, maybe 40, 79.5-ish. That is kind of your first level because that's the breakout zone it took out. But I don't know. I'd probably base it on gold and silver. I would look to sell any sort of move up, little trim. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, little trim going towards this level. If we go high, it's not gonna do it. But otherwise, if during regular hours we look like we're gonna go down again, the highs, in, I might drop my other 5%. Then I'm out. Like I've done my 10%. Now let's let it come down. I got lots on the sidelines because I've been trimming all the way up, and I haven't been buying more than I've been selling. All right, GDXJ, they probably all look quite similar. Yeah, same thing. $100, that was the level I was talking about. Then I said we took it out. Where are we? Down here. Yeah, there's your $100. Basically retested that perfectly. Almost got to 120, right? More than halfway there. We were there not too long ago. I'm not going to bother putting all the lines. I mean, you don't want to overdo it. So I'd look for a little half a sell if we bounce and another half, the final half, if we actually do more. If we keep going, then obviously it's on a mission to make new highs. SIL, yeah, pretty similar. Back to an old, that's probably one of the benefits of keeping the old levels in. There you go. That's the old level. That's the new one. Yeah. And then it took it out. Well, that one's now null and void. Keep it simple, keep it large. So there's your levels. Let's make it 72 instead of 71.5. That close, took out all those candles. But yeah, like I said, we bounced a little bit. I don't know where this would go. It's not going to go all the way up there. Half a sell, leave it. Leave it in case it breaks out. Otherwise, if it starts to come back down, good. You just sold two times 5%. Let it come down. You got lots on the sidelines, and now you're going to start going in 2.5% or otherwise 5%, whatever. And I'd go for the seniors first, then the mid tiers, then the juniors. Despite me going into juniors there on Friday, that was more of a copper, not uranium actually, copper, and to sell uranium. Like I want to sell gold and silver, I didn't sell enough uranium on the way up. And they came down. That had another extra day down. It wasn't just down on Friday, but Thursday too. And actually, it's kind of closer to support than gold is. But that was more like palladium, platinum, copper, critical metals. Those are the juniors I bought. If we start to come down, imagine it doesn't go up and just going down. Cool. Not cool. I'm going to be annoyed, but I'm not selling. That's for sure. I've got enough on the sidelines. I would just start to look at, and we're going to start looking at them now, the actual miners, because the ones like that I want are the ones that I've got. There aren't really. I mean, you guys could probably list a few stocks that I should be in, and I just they don't come to mind like that. But the ones that I'm in, it's a decade plus in the making. I really like them. They outperform the GDXJ, and I know I can count on them for a nice dip bounce. But I do plan to go into the seniors, maybe the royalties first, then the seniors, then the mid tiers, then the juniors, something like that. And then within each of those sectors, are my sort of favorites or the stronger charts. There might be one that's closer to support than another one. SILJ, again, steep ascending support. This one really got decked quite a lot, 7.5%. And I think my miners were down a bit more. They've been outperforming SILJ, but likewise, they underperformed on that particular day. No problem. But otherwise, completely intact thesis. There's no news that came out that means all of a sudden the thesis is over. Quite the contrary. Well, not the contrary. It's just that thesis remains intact, right? There wasn't news that came out that said gold and silver are even better. It was a technical day to sell. And I think a lot of weak hands got stopped out and it's healthy. And now we're kind of back to breakout zone, which is support. Right, let's do the portfolio update. I honestly, I'm not used to a red day. The only red days we've had are the ones where it's down 1, 2%, and then the next day it's up, or by the close, it like closed a high of day. And so you don't even feel like it's a red day. You just know that tomorrow is going to go up again. And you're going to be up more tomorrow than you were down today. But Friday was different. Friday was a heavy smash in the eyebrow. And you kind of think that Monday is not going to be just a green day like all the others. It's going to be, watch out, do we go down another 4%? Newmont looks like everything else, kind of back to a breakout zone. Looks like it's sort of 90-ish, right? This, whatever, roughly. Plus you got steeper selling support. Good news is you're around support, right? I think you got earnings coming up any moment now, and that's probably good there because we've sort of reset the dial a bit. So we've probably got energy for a move up. You do not want bad earnings. You're not going to get bad earnings in Newmont, but it was kind of priced to perfection, and even good earnings might have led it to a drop. But now with this drop, less the case. But that's when is that? God, I don't even know when that is. I think it's like in a couple of trading days at least, not Monday anyway. Close kind of near low of day, not like GDX. But it's so close to support. Any move down, you got this little gap in case it does want to go all the way lower. I'm not gonna buy Newmont. I've got enough of Newmont still, even after the drop, even after the small trims. But actually, if we come down a bit more, maybe I would. Maybe would. I need to check my Excel. The video I do after Monday close is gonna be fully detailed with exactly what I've done if I did anything on Monday and what I intend to do. Because normally I crunch the Excel numbers before doing a video, but the kids are sleeping now, so I'm just taking advantage. Yeah. So Newmont's okay, yeah. It's not Barrick, different type of chart. Look at that. Almost close to a new all-time, new 52-week high. Didn't do it all the way back down to support. How much of a surprise is that support held perfectly? You don't want to close below 32.5. Then plus if the whole sector's going down, that probably means we want to flush down to 30, which would still mean an intact chart completely. Even like I'm not going to start putting ascending, I'm not going to do this. This is just ridiculous, although it works. No, it's just too steep. I think it would give you a false indication of a breakdown when it's just sort of a healthy retrace to the next steep level of support. So clearly, if 32.5 goes, 30 is next. I am in no hurry to buy back. If it goes to 30, I probably would nibble. Just like if Newmont flushes like more than I think, I'd probably buy. Because like I said, the seniors are the ones I'd buy first. In particular, I want to follow Rick Rule, right? Like when in doubt, follow the best. So he was trimming all his more speculative ones and basically adding to Agnico, uh, Franco Nevada, and Wheaton. And to be honest, they all got destroyed the same amount. Wheaton down 8%. You know, it's like the same as the silver aggressive mid tiers I've got. I haven't heard anyone mention that how that's an opportunity. So I know Knikoke down 6%, they outperformed or didn't underperform some of the others, but it's kind of they all got smashed to the same percentage point roughly. So I feel like I didn't miss out by not selling the juniors or the mid tiers and getting into the seniors. I feel like I kind of earned a free day there. But Agnico down 6%, probably down more at the low of day, but look at that, it bounced completely on prior resistance, right? That's your sort of prior resistance equals support. If we go lower, I see this little gap fill. I think a few of them have this candle, this gap fill. It's also used to be a bit of a level, you can tell. I'm not going to do the ascending. I feel like it's too steep here too, you know. I'll do it, whatever. Yeah, let's see. But still, for it to go all the way back down and start to attack the gap, it needs to go down quite a lot already to take out Friday's low of day. It's going to go down 2.5%. Fill the gap 5%. Yeah, I think if I saw a Nico Eagle down 5% on Monday, I think I'd say, okay, that's a nice drop there in the seniors. It's time to. Agnico is one I would buy though. Even as high as 160. I mean, we're basically almost at 190. But I'd have to make sure I'm looking at gold, silver, and the GDX if I'm looking at the seniors. Pan America, you see, this is what I mean. Pan America down 8.5%. The same as Fortuna. I mean, you should just, and I should have just, even after hours, just liquidate Fortuna, put it into Pan America. Boom. Arbitrage, right? How can a crappy silver stock like Fortuna, I think it's crappy compared to Pan America, go down the same as Pan America, which by the way, Pan America should have been way beyond 44, right? It's one of, I think it's the only silver stock, senior silver stock, maybe except Barrick, that didn't take out its all-time highs. Look at Newmont, Wheaton, Agnico, Franco-Nevada. They all had, some of them had difficult charts, Franco-Nevada. Newmont had a lot of climbing to do. They've made new highs. Pan America's better, in my opinion. And it still didn't take out 44. And it went down 8.5% as much as Fortuna. So maybe I should just go Monday morning, even though I have this plan to sell on the way up. Maybe I should buy Pan America, expect it to go up, and then when it goes up, liquidate Fortuna. That's probably the best way of doing that. But anyway, you see my point. Pan America is just kind of acting like all the others, and that's my point. Take advantage of the crappy ones that got away with it, let's say. Is it at support? Yeah, 38. Remember 38 was my level? 38 was my level, and there it is bouncing around off 38. Because it was this descending. Yeah, that's it. That's why I got the descending. Yeah, so it bounced off this descending and closed pretty much where those other closes were. So 38 remains a level-ish. I do not see as no, you never know. If we go down again, can you imagine that 35, 34.5? That's your next level, pretty much, which is what, like 10% drop from where we are? Yeah, interesting. If we go down, I am seriously using this sidelines money that I've just left, trying to accumulate, interactive brokers' interest rates, which are okay, but nowhere near as good as the rise you could make in the miners. Here's Wheaton clearly trading the ranges. So here's your high of 114, here's your support of 103, and that's all you need to know. If we go lower, this ascending support is not as steep as the others. It's more credible how many times we hit it on pivot points. So one, two, three. I'm not going to say four, but this you could say this is four, even five. Four. You could say this is five. And so yeah, this is multiple off over a long period. This is credible, and it has held. It was held on a horizontal basis. If we flush, to be honest, if we flush, we kind of go straight through it immediately. But the next level would be, uh, see something there. You could have a fake breakdown and rallies and goes back into the steep zone. I don't know. I don't see us going down too much. This is a seriously good one you can buy on the drops. I feel like it's safety, a very defensive stock. But yeah, kicked in the chin on Friday, holding your 102 support, 103, sorry. And well, let's be honest, if we go over here, I'm not going to do all the yellow lines, you know where I mean. Definitely one of the ones I'll be looking to buy on the drop, right? The senior best, the best first. If it goes down another level and surprise me, then I start going to the mid tiers. By mid tiers, I'm talking about the I am gold, the equinoxes, the B2 goals. I don't think I'd be more excited about that one. Pan America, I'd probably buy before B2 gold again. Um, Aris Mining. I'd probably look at the silver ones by then. They're also mid tiers, you know, the Hecklers, the First Majestics, the Equinoxes, the EXKs, the CDE, but they're really, really high at the moment. Okay, so that's okay. Franco Nevada. Oh, that one's ready to go before the others. Made a new low, but closed just where the others were. That's not the first stock to have done that. There's your 203.5-ish. If we start to close below 200, that is done, huh? Like, not only do you take out Friday's low of day, but you close below a 200 level. And now your next level, I mean, that's a long way down, but if you were to close from 10% again, 10% is your next level. I don't know. That's, I mean, that's twice as much as Friday, right? 5% Friday, two more Fridays. I mean, you're probably taking a lot of damage here in your minus. I don't see it happening, but you just buy. You just buy. Even if the trend is now broken, you just buy on general principle that it's a massive support zone. I need to think about what I'm going to do about Franco if it starts close below 200. I'd buy it. I just need to find the next clear level. I'd probably base it on GDX support because I don't see us doing 10% in Franco Nevada. There's probably something in the middle. It's not that clear to me right now. I mean, I see small things, but nothing that could clearly hold it. Yeah, to be determined later. I really look forward to the Monday video. That's where it's going to be more obvious. All right, Metalla did what everything else did, 8% down. Trend is intact. Do we have ascending? Yeah, we do, but we're on it, so there's no point in having it. If we start to take out Friday's low of day, we've already broken it. We have mini levels of support on the way down. This is a little double bottom that's worth taking note of. Then we have some resistance and support I see here, 620, nothing special, all the way down to basically 590, $6. Hmm. That's not the kind of stock I'm looking to add to straight away, right? The silvers would be first, then this would be considered a mid tier, although I almost consider a junior royalty, but royalties are not the worst sector to be in at the moment. Okay, now the pure mid tiers. I am gold. Aye, 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 aye. This one's steep. You see like that is a real support zone, even though it's extremely steep. It's hit it many times, but we're there. As soon as we close below Friday's low of day, you might as well remove it. So I'm going to remove it because it's almost useless. It's valid for one day. We've had that one day. We've got this zone, right? Three candles hitting this little 13.10. As soon as we flush, we'll go straight through 13, fill the gap. So that's almost irrelevant, but I'll use it anyway. There's your gap fill. Then you do have this little low here. Then 12. Why is 12 a level? It used to be a mini level. I'll leave it because of a nice number. Oh, there you go. Lots of little levels. This one I'm not looking to add until I'm done buying my first tranche of all the seniors. Then I'd start looking at this one. But my first buy would probably be in the 11s if we get there. If we get there. And it did pretty much hit. Yeah, look at that. It closed the gap. It closed the gap and came all the way back down. That's why some people love those gaps and say they always close. Equinox. This one almost hit 13. Almost. That was the big number. I think I had a sell at 12.99, which is still there. Never got filled. And I might as well remove it because if we're going to go to 12.99, it means we've taken out the old high of 12.92 and it obviously wants to go to 13.50. So I'll make sure I remove that. No point in having a steep ascending levels. 1150. No, not 1150 on that one neither. hmm, Pretty difficult to call this one. Difficult to call. Don't know. I think if it comes all the way back down here-ish, 11, I don't know. This is obviously a level. This is the low of this zone. I'd probably base on GDX. I'd let it come all the way back down. Probably buy just on the 1050, around 1050 or lower if possible. That's probably your first buy because I would have bought the seniors before then and then let it come down. It's a massive buy, even if gold comes down hundreds of dollars. Next, B2 gold. That one almost hit six. That's pretty impressive now that I think about it. We were like high threes, and then I kind of stopped following it. I was watching everything else because it was a bit boring compared to the others. There were 1 or 2 days where I had good days, and I sort of made a little note about it, but I kind of ignored it. Everything else was screaming high, and this one in the end kind of almost got to six. The levels are easier here than the other ones. This is clearly a level 540. We basically almost touched it on Friday. If we start to take out Friday's low of days, we're probably gonna go straight through it onto the next level. Five is a nice number. Was also a level, so I'll consider that as a level two, $5. Yeah, go on, five bucks. After that, you got this little zone. Okay, I'll leave these to be analyzed later when we start going down there. Harmony, 8%. So this one, I was saying it's going to take out 19, and we're still above 19. We're at 20, even after the big smash. So that's pretty good. 19 is support. All right. Well, if we start to go below, we'll probably take that out because this had bad news recently. But there's a bit of support on the way down. I'm not in a hurry to rebuy this. This is just something I bought because it was smashed. So there are others to buy that will be better bounce plays than Harmony. Although Harmony usually has very good days when everyone else does. Aris Mining, straight back to 10. 10 is that big number. It had difficulty taking it out. We finally took it out with some serious hesitation and sort of reconsidered its move at some point, but the sector forced it up, gold forced it up, bam, down we go. This is going to go lower. This was so reluctant to rise above 10. It was forced there because of all the other external factors, gold going up, miners going up, sector going up. And now that the sector and gold went down, it's straight away back to 10, even dipped below. If there's any move down, it will just easily come down. This is probably not something to buy the dip in, actually. Need to make a little note to myself. SPSW, well, came down with the whole sector. This is no longer level. This is your level. This is the low of the period, $11. Kind of touched it and bounced. There's your next level, 950. The next breakout. Yeah, these are fine. These levels are fine, what I've got. It's a good thing I didn't remove all those levels actually because they're useful on the way down. But it follows gold and silver down, and I think the other metals also were down on that day, right? Palladium was down 9.5%. Jesus. And closed at low of day. Well, yeah, it makes sense. The SPSW went down too. Well, look at that. I didn't even notice. Palladium hit my little level, 1,600. Maybe that's why. It wasn't just gold and silver. No one mentioned that? I didn't even notice that until now. What a clear level. Okay. Well then same goes for that one. It just needs to digest a bit more and see if it keeps going down. Let's check out the silver stocks. First, Majestic. Well, I was saying 14, can't wait to get there. And here after the smash, we're still above 14. That's pretty impressive. But I did notice it basically nearing $16. So there's your new level of resistance. And if we have any bounce, it's going to do quite well. It's probably going to get above 1450. Levels of support on the way down. God damn, this is pretty tough. I feel like there's something here at 13. You can see the support there and a bit of resistance. Don't want to do ascending. It's like irrelevant as soon as there's any drop. See there, it's useful. It was useful on Friday, but on Monday you just watch. yesterday's low of day. And if we start to take out yesterday's low, then the whole ascending is gone. Then you're looking at these horizontals, 13 bounce after that. You don't want to go down too much more. This is a serious buy the dip candidate. As soon as I'm done with the seniors, this is one of the mid tiers, the way I'm going to look at it. I think I'd leave it like that. This I would move up. Something like this would be a huge buy. We're never getting there. Yeah, okay. For now, that's all I got. But still 8.5%, pretty much the average. I just went through the photographic memory I had from just staring at my screen. I was just down 8.5%. Fortuna, it's exactly the same, 8.52% down. Like all the others, but to me, it's a crap stock. It's got difficulty even clearing the all-time high, and it was really, really reluctant to go up. So swap it for a good one. Level of support doesn't really count because well, yeah, that's it. There's your level of support. 8.5, which is where we bounce from, or slash 8.4, whatever. I'm not going to be buying anyway. I'm going to be selling the move up. So, and actually, this is kind of, there's two levels. There's sort of that and this. There's quite a few here. 8.4 to 8.5 is level of support. Uh, if we go lower, yeah, I guess 7.8 is sort of here-ish. Yeah, something like that. Not really using these yellow squiggles anymore, but because they take a couple of seconds. I'm watching so many stocks and covering so many levels, it just adds minutes to my videos. But for me, look, Fortuna is the one and only I will definitely be selling on Monday. It is being sold, but even if we're going lower, I'm probably selling because I'm like, all right, we're gonna go lower. I can just liquidate Fortuna and I'll probably catch Pan America 3% even lower. It's still worth it. In the end, I lose less or win more, however you want to look at it. So Fortuna, I'm selling on Monday, whether we go up or down, to swap it out with something. Um, yeah, hopefully we go up, of course. Next, CDE, 8.87%. Very similar. Except look at that steep move. Look at that. You zoom out, you don't even see a drop. You just see one big line up. This one also, I need to seriously like de-risk this one. It's worth more than everything except Pan American Silver. And actually, my third stock, I think First Majestic is like my third stock now. They were dethroning all the seniors. It's not supposed to be mathematically possible to be worth more than Agnico and Newmont and Barrick. And it's Pan America's worth the most because it's not only is it worth as a normal senior, but it's combined with MAG. I never sold the MAG mergents. But yeah, so CDE goes up probably a little 5%, goes up even more, another 5%, then leave it. I'm done. Otherwise, no point in putting the ascending. It's absolutely meaningless. Like there you go, another one that hit its ascending support. It was really worth it on Friday, I guess. I'll leave it because it looks good. Down here's your next level around 19.5. If we lose that, I have no idea. There's probably another level before 17.5. I don't know. You have to look at silver and SIL, not even SILJ, that one's gone. Although on the way down, you may have some of these old ETFs where all the record highs were taken out. They could end up hitting their old record high, acting as support. So maybe SILJ becomes useful. Just that little bounce, then you can delete the whole ETF. All right, that's what I'm looking very quickly. CDE. Next one is Hekla. Go on, let's put the little ascending in. Jesus, this is totally out of date. Okay, if we come down, the ascending here is actually worth it still. If we start to come lower, then you've got this little mini breakout zone, $12 roughly, and then we'll let it come down. Look at silver, look at GDXJ or something. Yeah, nice and sweet. EXK down than the others. That one was outperforming the others though. It's basically taken out its last 2 days. That's the rule. Silver basically undid its last 2 days of profits of gains. Um, so here's your mini breakout zone, 8.5, kind of, kind of, which is kind of where it bounced from, 8.8, 8.5, not much difference. Ascending support. God, not really. Yeah, not the easiest chart to read for the drop, but you can see here, look all these candles here, all this this is obviously a buy zone, right? Like obviously that is a buy if we get anywhere near it. $8. Come all the way down here, $8 is a clear buy zone, roughly. Um, the juniors, no, not yet. There's too many of them. They're all scrambled in different metals, and I would want another 1 day drop before starting to go into those because I'm not going to advocate buying juniors. I've probably got a few. I bought Southern Silver Exploration. I added to it on Friday. Uh, yeah, I'll cover that on Monday. I'll do a very, very, very thorough video. But that's what I'm thinking. Big smash. The bull case is absolutely intact. We could even bounce a little bit on Monday, and if we do, I'm looking to de-risk, especially for tuna. I'm probably going to try and eliminate that one. And if I do get to completely liquidate Fortuna, if there's a really nice bounce, I'll probably sell less in the others than I said. Instead of 5%, 5%, it's probably going to be 3%, 3%, something like that. But I just want to trim this area. This should be clear resistance now. I sold the $4,000 gold and the $50 silver. I sold like 1 or 2 days before, the day before, the day it happened, little trims. But now we've got a, I don't want to say top, but we've got clear resistance, right? The last, it doesn't really matter which one. Go on, Silj. That move up here this here, like this $26, right? If I could just say $26, because if you're gonna visit the high of Friday, you're probably gonna break out make new all-time highs. So I'm not saying that the old high is the big resistance you're not gonna take out. No, no, no. I'm talking about like this is gonna be hard to take out, right? Because once you start clearing and closing above Friday's high day. That's it. Like you obviously want to go to new all-time high. You want to go to 30, still J30. But if you're climbing pre-market up here, this is gonna be hard. You can't just go through the high zone, not the absolute high of day, but the high zone of nah nah nah. And same goes for all the others, gold, silver, the GDXJ, and the individual stocks you're in. And that's what I'm going to be looking to sell. And this will be my general barometer, but I'll be trimming sort of the high zones of Friday, of that horrible Friday. So anyway, look, I think it's very useful. We need this correction. I've been trimming because I thought something like this might happen. It still took me by surprise because we cleared that zone and we were just going up, up, up. It doesn't shock me, but it hurt me, and that's how I realized I still probably have too much, even after all these little nibbles. So that's what I'm gonna do about it. Monday, little trim. No, I'm going to be trimming between 5 and 10% in each stock. There you go. Because in case I sell Fortuna full position, I don't need to do 2 times 5%. I can do 2 times 3, which falls into that 5 to 10% range. So I can say I'm looking to sell 5 to 10% of all of my senior mid-tier gold and silver stocks on Monday if we're going up. And if we don't go up and we're just red straight away, I probably will still liquidate Fortuna as a little bit of a switch play. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's basically from the heart. So good luck. Let's see what happens. It's still beautiful. It's still going to bounce. I still think we're going to go to new all-time highs this year. It's just trying to make the most of the situation. So good luck.